So back to some truck sizes. Not sure if you guys have seen the last video, but pretty much my 144s kind of ruined my setup. I normally ride an 825. It has a 13.88 wheelbase, 31.5 inches long, and it's been pretty much my go-to board. So the real thing I really wanted to switch around was my truck size. So normally I ride the independent hollow 149, and I decided to ride the hollow 144. The real reason why I went down to the smaller truck was really mainly for the weight. I know there's some benefits having some smaller trucks on my board. With the smaller truck, your board's going to scoop, flick a little bit faster. You're going to be able to turn a little bit sharper. Essentially, the wheels aren't going to be poking out from the board. They're going to be kind of more tucked in. So you definitely have to be a lot more precise when you're doing crooked grinds or feeble grinds. So for me, that made this truck a lot harder for me to skate. I'm used to a wider truck, so I can kind of sit on my crooked grinds and my feeble grinds a little bit more on the side. I don't have to be on top and like as precise with it. So if you want to see the full breakdown and whatnot of the trial and error, you can go check out that video. But for now, we're going to be setting up a whole new other truck. Hopefully it's going to be the happy medium. Hopefully it's going to be exactly what I'm looking for. That leaves us with this. This is an independent forged hollow 149. So the few reasons why I picked this truck up, we're definitely going to be talking about it. There's a few things I want to kind of compare and contrast with this one and the regular hollow 149. So we'll be doing that. And in general, I really never see people skate this truck. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll try this. There's a few reasons why I'm still sticking to indies. I've been riding them for a few years now. So I feel like it's going to be fair that I actually skate the same truck, but just with a few other little lighter upgrades and whatnot. If I ride a whole other truck, the geometry is going to be set different. My wheelbase is going to be different. There's going to be too many different variables. So I felt like this is actually a pretty fair chance. So anyways, let's just get into this. It's kind of funny because I set this board up honestly only a few weeks ago, and it really only took me that long to realize the smaller trucks weren't working. And it's funny, you can actually see the wheel bite mark was further in than it normally is. And in general, my wheel bite was actually way worse. Yes, with the smaller trucks, I was able to turn a lot better, but I feel like my wheel bite was way worse. Since my wheels are already tucked in more, I felt like it was scraping the board even more than it did with my 149s. So much wheel bite, like it's insane to see where the wheels were hitting there and here. And if you guys are wondering, these are conical fulls on this right here, and these are lock-ins. So these are actually, I think, 1 millimeter smaller than the conicals. So like I was saying, the whole point of me riding the smaller truck essentially was just to lighten it up and see if I actually liked the benefits that the smaller trucks gave me. Overall, I did not like the benefits it gave me. It honestly did more cons than anything for me. So the other thing I was just kind of curious with was, yeah, we're busting out the old OG scale right here. I'm gonna put the numbers that way for you guys so you guys can probably read that better than I can. But you know, just so you could see your boy's not lying. Actually, I lied. Let's take off the wheels first before we do this. So before we weigh the trucks and everything, I know these trucks are grinded down a little bit more, so they're probably going to be lighter than they probably normally would be. But they are actually the same height. They're both the mids, so they're both, it's funny how like either my table's uneven or or the bolts are uneven, because they're both supposed to be 53.5 height. I like how when I have it on this side, this one's taller than this one's taller. That's so funny. I don't know what it is, but apparently they're the same height. I guess I could have tried this truck over here. Yeah, okay, there you go. They're perfectly matched up. Oh, these are the 144s actually. I think these ones are just either messed up or something, but these ones I do want to mention, they're the normal mid height. And it's kind of crazy that they're the same height because the base plate seems to be a little bit thinner. I could be tripping, but the base plate does seem a lot. Oh, it's way thinner. Look at that. It's like maybe 1 millimeter thinner than that or something. I don't know, but it's definitely thinner. So that's kind of nice. And the other thing I did look up, when I was looking up the bushings, it still says that this is a 90A bushing. It's just blue. And I believe that's still a 90A for like how smushy the cushions or the bushings are, whatever you want to call them. So apparently they're the same, but I've noticed with the hollows are like a lot looser than the normal regular indies. I don't know why. I've just noticed like there's like a little bit of a difference. Like when I have a normal OG indie without hollows, I really don't need to tighten it at all. But when I have hollows, I got to crank it down like at least 2 times or something before it's like nice for me. So enough talking about the height and everything. Let's actually get to the weight. So we're taking out the OG scale. This scale don't lie, you know what I mean? This thing has seen a lot in its day. Okay, so Let's just compare first. So I was riding the hollow 149, right? So let's weigh this bad boy. So it says 368.7. So whatever, 368 we'll say for the 149. What is the 144? 362. So actually in grams, by the way, so it's not a huge difference, but I mean, like, obviously that's like what, a 6 gram difference or something. So there's obviously some weight off there. What is the hollow 149 versus the forged right here? So that's 3685. This is only 361. So clearly this truck is lighter. And I'm sure once we grind it down, actually, it'll probably be like 359 grams or something like that. I don't know. But so that's kind of nice. It is actually lighter. So you're probably thinking, Spencer, why didn't you just go with this truck from the beginning? You wanted just a lighter 149. Why didn't you use this? Why didn't you try a different truck company? Well, I did want to see if the smaller truck did help me with anything. And don't get me wrong, when it came to scooping, locking into nose blunts and stuff, it definitely helped me. But overall, the 149 definitely gives me the stability I need and just helps me lock into those grinds a little bit better. But I also do want to mention this because this might change things up a little bit. I ride a pretty small wheelbase. I ride a 13.88 wheelbase, and if you don't know what wheelbase is, it's the distance between your trucks. The smaller it is, the quicker the response, it's going to turn a little bit faster, yada, yada, yada. Since I had the smaller truck on this, I think it was honestly too unstable for me at some points, you know, where it was honestly too squirmy, even locking into certain tricks. I just couldn't do it very well. And it might be because the wheelbase was really small too. But that's the thing, having the small wheelbase and having a wider truck with more stability is just the happy medium that I need. So pretty much what I'm saying, small trucks on your board, that's fine. It works for you, doesn't work for me. I've been just kind of experimenting with the wheelbases, so I decided, you know what, maybe the trucks might be something worth experimenting with. And I did try it and I didn't like it. It's if you haven't really experimented with it or if you're scared to try something, it's definitely worth trying it because you never know if you like it or if you won't like it. You'll see if it benefits you in the way you'd want it to be, because obviously like different skate products, the way people set up different boards, all personal preference. But also you gotta look at the tricks that they're doing, because sometimes the tricks that they're doing, their setup is definitely helping and benefiting them doing those tricks. So I have like another like C-Rat board set up as my ditch board right now. I think I'm gonna keep these Indy hollows on there with the 149s. I thought about putting the smaller trucks on it, but after how just not unstable that was for me, I'm gonna definitely keep those on there and I'm gonna put the forged on here. And already, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I don't have wheels on or anything, but my board's already feeling like a little bit lighter. I guess I only have one truck on, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. I guess the other thing I want to mention too that obviously can lighten up my board is my wheels. I'm riding the Spitfire lock-ins right now, and these are pretty wide wheels. I think I might go back to the tablets. The tablets are a little bit lighter just because it's obviously less wheel. I like the shape of the tablet, kind of how this wheel is too in the lock-ins, how it has that kind of flat backside, kind of rounded outside here. But the conical full right here is too big for me. Like this wheel was way too wide for me. The 52 is already a big tire for me. Your boy used to ride like 48s for the longest time, so riding a 52 is a big wheel. They honestly made that a shod wheel in a 101. They're 99s. I just don't like the soft wheels. The harder wheel just slides better for me. I just like it a little bit better. I feel like I always just rode hard wheels. And so I couldn't find tablets at the time, so the skate shop had these lock-ins, so I thought it was worth trying these. And these are fine. They're not bad. I like the lock-in more than the conical full. I actually haven't rode just regular conicals, but I'd assume they're very similar to the lock-ins. I just don't love how tablets look, if I'm being honest. They just don't appeal to me very much, you know what I mean? They just look weird. Let's get the tires on this board and let's see. And I don't even know, this wheel's weird with the lock-ins because this side is flat and this side's like rounded, so I feel like I can't even really ride these wheels inside out, right? Because then it like defeats the purpose of the lock-in, right? I mean, I obviously could, but is it gonna actually lock in? I feel like it'll bounce me out more. I don't know. So I finally got the new truck set up, and yeah, the board does feel like, yeah, it does feel a little bit lighter. I'm not gonna lie, it feels light. I hate how my board looks like a fresh setup out of Zoomies. I'm not loving that, but the board definitely still feels like kind of light, I guess, you know? I just don't love how it looks like such a mall board, you know what I mean? But I wanted to like put some like stony like little eyes in here or something, you know what I mean? Like some big... Yeah, I'll show you guys what it looks like after. You know, this is so funny. That, does he look stoned now? Is that sick? I was gonna like, yo, should I throw some like S's in his eyes, you know? All right, that's gonna wrap up the truck madness for today. Comment, let me know what size trucks you guys are riding on your boards. Does this kind of stuff drive you guys crazy, or is it just me? Like, do you guys rock the wheels to like, you know, the edge of the board, or are you guys riding the smaller trucks magic carpet style? Let me know. So let's grab a nice little mall grab out of here, and how you doing? Later, skater.